I'll tell you guys what we're not doing. And that's a dumb bit because we have important business to tend to. Just listeners, just for a moment, just pretend, work with us here and imagine that it's the day after the Grammys, that you are getting ready to go into work. It's, Sunday evening. You've watched all the Grammys. We've watched the Grammys. We have the recap ready for you so you can hit the water cooler running on Monday morning and have all of the information you need to talk about what needs to be talked about. And also pretend that we didn't put an episode in between the Grammys and now, because we definitely wouldn't do that. That'd be ridiculous. It's the biggest music show in the world. How would we ever forget that happened?
Was that a bit?
I guess it kind of became one, didn't it?
Listen, It's not that I don't know when I need to do things. It's that I don't know what today is.
Like, you have the reference point. You just don't have like the absolute of the calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
We're really good at what we do. It's a kick-ass, y'all. It is Jay, it is Dan, it is Zach, and as we alluded to, this is our Grammy recap episode. We would like to say up front that the Grammys themselves, that broadcast, as we say here, about a week and change ago, only showed 9 of the awards. 9 of the however many dozens of awards. You know what we're doing today? We're doing 10.
And eat it, Grammys.
We are more Grammys than the Grammys.
That's a tagline right there.
That's it.
Add that to the book.
Throwing that on custom ink immediately. We're also going to be throwing out the big 4 categories, as you would imagine. Like, everyone wants to talk about that. Those are always the stars of the show. We're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about the surprises. We're going to talk about the things we expected, the things we did not expect. I'm going to guess one thing specifically in particular that none of us, including everyone listening, did not expect to happen with those big 4. We will get to that. And then each of us is also going to cover 2 of the not as popular categories, go into a little bit of depth with each of those, and see where we end up at on the other side.
Or
do y'all want to start with the other categories, or do you want to start with the big 4?
Let's start with the big 4.
I like it.
Yeah, why don't we just roll with the big 4, because we can get those out of the way. And I think mostly because I'm pretty sure we've talked a lot about all of these records and or songs and or artists over the last several months in our monthly reviews. So
yeah, then I would say you mentioned record. Let's start with the record. Just as a reminder, the record of the year is the best song in terms of the overall composition. Song of the year is the best song in terms of the songwriting of the song. Obviously, those can overlap. They often do overlap. They may overlap this time. Let's find out if they do. Nominees will run down real quick. Bad Bunny with DTMF, Sabrina Carpenter with Man-Child, Doechii with Anxiety, Billie Eilish with Wildflower, Lady Gaga with Abracadabra, Chappell Roan with The Subway, Rosé and Bruno Mars with Apata, and your winner, Kendrick Lamar and SZA with Luther. Was this a surprise to, I guess the question wasn't going to be what or if, the question was going to be where.
Yeah, I don't think it was any surprise that Kendrick got one of the big 4 again the second straight year. I'm trying to figure out if I'm surprised it's this and not album, but no, either one absolutely would have worked, or song of the year, or like, you knew he was going to grab one. And it's rare that I say this and disagree with me or not. But I don't think there's not a song on here where if they went with that, I would have been upset. And that was the totally wrong call and it didn't deserve it. And I think all 10 easily had a shot, and you couldn't be mad about any of them winning. Obviously, they made the right call, but you couldn't really be upset either way.
Yeah, the only thing I would say to that is the only 2 that I would have been sort of, I guess, surprised by would be Anxiety, because it's because of the prominent sample in the song, and then the only other one that I didn't really care for was Lady Gaga. Like I don't love that song.
Yeah, I guess I would kind of agree from from a personal standpoint, but at least like in terms of popularity, like I would not disagree at all with what you said, Dan. If any of these songs were to win, I would say, yeah, they're certainly popular enough. They certainly tick all the boxes. They're all certainly jams. At the very least, I think that like Kendrick had to get one of these, and we'll cover the other artists that had to get one of these here in just a couple minutes.
Yeah, like you said, it wasn't a matter of if, just what.
Which certainly that factors into it, right? That, I mean, I don't think any voter would admit to this, but certainly like, you know, we got to get these two people, these two artists awards. Let's figure out, you know, we give this one, we give that one, but it's never in a vacuum. That's
interesting on the voting strategery, as one might say, if there actually is any, if there's any, not collusion, because I don't think it's that big, but if there's any like we're doing here, we all three had a vote. Hey, who do you vote for this? Well, I think we should give him this. We should give him this. Let's use this example because I know it works. And I'll even further time date this is last night was the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And at the bar what I was at, because we were colluding, we got like 9 people to send multiple MVP votes for Jason Myers, who is the Seahawks kicker, but also set a record for the most field goals in a single Super Bowl. So, you know, was that strategic? I don't know. Are there, you know, artists who get together and talk over their Grammy ballot the same way? I don't know.
You would think so, yeah. I doubt that it's, at least especially with the artists, because that's part of the eligibility of. Is that the case that if you win a Grammy, you're eligible to vote on the Grammys just ad nauseum from there?
I honestly don't know. Is it? I mean, is it like getting a green jacket, where as long as if you win it once, you'll always have an invite back?
I wonder, because I know the Oscars is like that. Like if you win an Oscar, you get to vote on the Oscars. There's no other qualification. I mean, there are other ways to become an Oscars voter, but if you win one, that is a through ticket to Oscars voting.
Yeah, okay.
I just didn't know if the Grammys was in the same vein.
Be worth finding out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys talk amongst yourselves, and I'll play Google Radio.
Perfect. Well, then, yeah, we can talk about the other person that was going to get one of these awards. Kendrick Lamar was penciled in. Whether you think that, you know, that was deliberate or not, it's just how it was going to work. And so was the Album of the Year recipient. But before we get to him, let's run down the rest of them. You had Justin Bieber with Swag, Sabrina Carpenter with Man's Best Friend, Clips with Let God Sort 'Em Out, Lady Gaga with Mayhem, Kendrick Lamar with GNX, Leon Thomas with Mutt, Tyler, the Creator with the super good Chromacopia. And your winner, of course, none other than the aforementioned Super Bowl, the halftime show artist du jour of that being one Bad Bunny with his album Debi Terrar Mas Fotos.
Pronunciation too.
Thank you. I had to make sure I had the accent on the right syllable.
I mean, his the capitalization of the letters don't help you on that one, but
no, they tried to trip me up. I'm better than that. It's 5 years of Spanish for this one moment in my life. Not a surprise that it happened. We talked about like GNX versus Debi Terrar, and I do feel like just because of the sheer popularity of the entirety of Debi Terrar, that it made more sense to me as the album as opposed to the record of the year. All of it charted on the Hot Latin Songs chart. All of it charted on the Hot 100 as well. So, you know, for a vastly Spanish language album is phenomenal. It's unheard of, really.
Yeah, indeed. And no arguments. Like I really like I was fine with that being the one. There's the bit of me that says, you know, how cool would it be if Chromacopia wins Album of the Year, knowing full well that it wasn't going to. Really, it came down to GNX or Debi Terrar. Those were the two. I don't think anything else on that list even had a shot, but it would have been cool if it was Tyler, the Creator.
Yeah,
absolutely. But at the same time, I feel relatively close here that obviously it was going to be one of two. Yep. There weren't really going to be any wrong answers, honestly. except for one.
I was going to say there's one glaring exception there.
There is one glaring exception that would be the wrong answer. It is the only record on this list that one could even at best describe as meh, and obviously that is Swag from Justin Bieber.
Truth.
Because that record was meh.
I wouldn't even give it that.
For whatever reason, the Grammy voters, and I have the your pathway to become a Grammy voter. We can go there. For whatever reason, they like Bieber. Don't forget, they gave Yummy a nod for pop performance.
Oh, they did. They did, didn't they?
Now, I understand it was, pandemic time and things were really weird, but they weren't that weird.
No.
Yeah, there were options there.
Correct.
We had choices. Well, thankfully, one of the many correct choices did come through here. Mm-hmm. I don't see I see a bad album on here amongst the group, but it was going to be, A or B for sure.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that leaves C, which is the song of the year, which, as we mentioned, is songwriting as opposed to the entire track in and of itself. And I think this was the shock. This was the shock. We'll run down, again, the nominees and give you the unexpected winner. You're going to hear the nominees that you think would have won if you don't know already who did win this category. And then the winner is, at least to me, it was a pretty big surprise. Lady Gaga once again with Abracadabra. Doechii once again with Anxiety. Lots of repeats from Record of the Year, as you can imagine. Roseanne Bruno Mars with Apatow. Bad Bunny with DTMF. Golden with Huntrix, which was the track that I actually had penciled in, if not Bad Bunny and not Kendrick Lamar, and SZA with Luther, which was also up for Song of the Year, as well as Sabrina Carpenter with Manchild. None of those won this award. The song that did win this award was Wildflower by Billie Eilish.
I mean, Grammy darling, not really a surprise at all. It's a beautiful song.
It is.
Yeah. Again, same thing. Can't be mad at it. And again, you look up and down. I don't think on a songwriting level there's a wrong answer here. Honestly.
Yeah, agreed. This is, it's more surprising to me. It definitely is not wrong. It's a gorgeous song. It absolutely, as from a songwriting chop standpoint, it absolutely deserves its flowers. No pun intended.
Ha 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 ha.
Can I make a quick confession though about this?
Please, of course.
As we're looking up and down the list, as I'm, all the songwriting credits are also involved. My eyes, I think I need to fix them because up and down, if you look a couple times, you'll see the name Henry Walter, which is a name that we'll come back to. I know we'll come back to it, but in my quick scan, I had to double take because I saw, like on Abracadabra, Lady Gaga, Andrew Wyatt, Henry Winkler. No, wait, that can't be right. Hang on.
What a joy that would have been if somehow that were to be true.
Yep.
I mean, I guess stranger things have happened in the world, but that one would be like top 5.
Fonz wins a songwriting Grammy. I mean, I'm here for it. Let's try it.
Why not?
Can we convince him? You think we could try?
He could be swayed.
I hope so.
Well, like you said, more on not Henry Winkler to come here in just a little bit. But before we get there, we do have one more of the big 4 to go through. And this, I feel like, was also not at all a surprise. The best new artist, I feel like this one has been signed, sealed, and delivered for a long time. But let's run through the list real quick. And there are no bad artists on this list. You got Cat's Eye, The Marias, Addison Rae, Somber, Leon Thomas, Alex Warren. Okay, so not all great. And Lola Young. It's like I keep forgetting that name was on there. Shout out Alex Warren. We know you like the podcast. You know we're listening.
I love that. You threw it up there like you wanted us to go to the review.
We need VAR in here.
I gotta care. It's worth the timeout. Let's go. Dude, let's get this up.
Oh gosh, but of course the winner, as we all expected, won Olivia Dean. Obviously, well deserved. We are going to see Olivia in the other big 3 awards at some point in the near future. I have a really good feeling, but this one was pretty obvious.
I think we'll probably also see Lola Young
for sure
in those other 3 categories as well. The others, I don't know. Leon Thomas probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
yeah.
some of the other ones I'm not 100% certain. I mean, I don't really see Cat's Eye ever being nominated for songwriting of the year, but
No, but I mean, and honestly, I think I was going to actually agree with something you had said a little while back about her album. I think Addison Rae probably will find her way into some specialty categories. I'm sure Cat's Eye will pick up pop nominations along the lines
sure,
too.
For sure.
And they won't be unwarranted. Like they'll be nominated
No.
for performance or vocal something for a duo or group. I whatever. It's fine. They weren't going to win this award.
No. And honestly, I would say if you want to go back maybe to when the nominees were thrown out back in November, it might have been a little more closely knotted at the top. But then after Olivia Dean's album exploded, you're like, there's no way. Like she's pretty much head and shoulders away and has more than enough of the track record to get there. So we're totally get there.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that is one of a small handful of artists that I'm just like, this is, I mean, it's kind of trite, right? To say like the future of popular music. I think that maybe that's not the way to describe it, but certainly she does have a future in the zeitgeist of popular music, might be a better way to phrase that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we already talked at length about our confusion on the term best new artist when you have artists that are on their like sixth studio album finally getting recognized as best as new artists. Like, well, no, but I guess most new as in new to the popular side of things. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one that I never really dove deep into, like how that is qualified. If it's like a judgment call or if there are specific qualifications, I'm honestly not sure. Homework for a post show. But yeah, let's keep this train a roll and get to the other categories. We hit the big four, and each of us has two of the non-big four categories that we are going to cover. And I can go ahead and jump into mine because, Dan, you've already alluded to this category and to the winner of this award specifically. So thank you for the perfect segue. But as we are wont to do, we are going to go through the rest of the nominees for the Producer of the Year in the non-classical format. I won't go through every single piece that each of these producers had on their list just because there are so many of them, but I'll just at least try to touch on some of the higher points for ones that do have a whole heap of tracks, such as nominee Dan Auerbach, who was nominated for singles such as Holy Ghost Party by Robert Finley and Love is Cruel by Miles Kane. And also the No Rain, No Flowers album from the Black Keys, as an example. The album Harsh and Exciting by Moonrisers. An artist that's been obviously in the game. You all have heard of him. He, I believe he actually has won this award once before. So if he had won, he would have been in a very small group of maybe 8 total folks that have won 2 or more Producer of the Year non-classicals. But it was not meant to be, unfortunately, for Dan Auerbach. Also nominated Dijon for several tracks on the Justin Bieber album, a large amount of that sound attributed to Dijon for better or worse, as we have discussed. Also, Blake Mills, producer responsible for the delightful Japanese breakfast album For Melancholy Brunettes and Sad Women. The album Forever is a Feeling, the latest from Lucy Dacus. The album Glory from Perfume Genius. Like, amazing albums, amazing artists to work with. And someone who is working with all of these awesome, talented artists is someone who is just by default, like, they're not just going to work with anyone. I feel like we're going to see Blake Mills' name in the future as well if he continues to be able to work with this kind of clientele, but was not to be the case for him. Also, Soundwave. Only one credit that I'd noticed, at least on the Wikipedia page for this category. It was a decent one. It was just GNX. It's fine. It's whatever, But all that is to bring it back to our winner of the Academy Award. That is one Henry Walter. I had to make sure I was saying that right. You had me in my own head. Henry Walter, also known as Circuit. And really the comparison of the popularity of these tracks there is no comparison. Abracadabra, Apata, a little more from Ed Sheeran, the entire Lady Gaga album Mayhem, Red Terror, and Big Sleep by The Weeknd, another Lady Gaga track, Disease. Like, Yeah, just looking at that body of work compared to the others, you were like, it's going to be that guy. And it absolutely was.
I think the interesting part, too, is he fulfills the odd producer quota, kind of. So I think he has the sounds out of all of the nominees that are kind of the most out there. So what you might consider the most experimental. Not in a bad way. That's not a bad way, because he still finds the way to make all the pop things do all the pop things. But, maybe just the one who's push it out a little farther into the ether than everybody else.
Yeah. You get all the pop stylings, and then you get like Coco Jones as well with AEOMG. That's maybe a little bit outside of what, the kind of the lane of, a more traditional pop producer is, but I'm absolutely here for it.
Well, what I think, if you run down that list again of the stuff that's, credentials or whatever, it's more like I don't feel a signature sound that is so identifiable that he's a chameleon. You know what I mean? Like the production goes to what the song needs, not what he wants.
Right.
Is what you feel. So like, yeah.
Yeah. And that has to be so difficult as a producer, because you have your own thoughts of how a song should sound. And it's not your song to sound. Like, it's not your decision. You're there to make the artist sound as good as they can. And you can tell when a producer does that really, really well. One that comes to mind is the producer that won this award last year, in Dan Nigro, and how well he's able to let the artist shine of their own volition and not try to impart his own whims on a track. But it sounds like Circuit is very much cut from that same cloth. So excited to hear more produced from him as we go along, and maybe he's going to be another repeat winner of this award. Time will tell. But it is time to throw to one of you. So Dan, I'll throw it over your way for your first off category.
I figured, what the hell? What I want to do, I don't know. I was in a mood and I picked this one. So I went down and grabbed Best of Jazz Vocal Album, because it also seemed like it was sort of my thing, especially the way my pop reviews have been going the last couple of months. The vocal albums are the one that would hit me. And it's an interesting group of nominees. And just real quickly, Elemental from Dee Dee Bridgewater and Bill Charlap. We Insist 2025 from Terry Lynn Carrington and Christy Dashiell. Michael Mayo's Fly. And then Live at Vic's Las Vegas from Nicole Zuritatis and a whole bunch of people. It seems like the entire band is credited. However, the winner taking this home would be Samara Joy and Portrait. And I can just do this part real quick, because you can hear tones of the greats coming through her. Because I mean, the album is a unique take on the Great American Songbook, and you can absolutely hear Ella and Billy, maybe a little Etta as well, coming through her. But she still has such unique stylings in her vocal work that, like you said, Blake, with the producer, there's no question who is working these songs. And if you need any further example of her being a one-woman musical suite, track 2 on the record, her vocal take on Reincarnation of a Lovebird, a Charlie Mingus track. Phenomenal. I don't know how else. I mean, the band doesn't even come in for like the first 2.5 minutes of the track.
Jesus.
And it's a full 6-minute thing. Honestly, if you want to get the tone of the album and only have about 15 minutes, listen to your first 2 tracks. You stepped out of the Dream and Reincarnation of a Lovebird, and that'll be the thing you hit the save to my library thing to come back to again and again and again whenever you're in the mood for some jazz.
And recently, when I am in the mood for some jazz, it's Samara that I go to. Like, that's, or I listen to Billie Holiday. Like, that's fine too. But like, if I want something modern,
fair,
it'd be Samara. Actually,
and from listening through these whole things, I feel like I will also come back to Michael Mayo at some point too.
Mm-hmm.
Because Fly is just a solid, sort of more traditional vocal record too. And I'd like to take the time to truly go back and with We Insist 2025, because that's a really heavy piece and a really heavy reworking of the original. So I'd love to go back and take the time to give it the attention it deserves.
Yeah, just two quick notes for me. One for anyone who is a user of the Sirius XM service, channel 66, the watercolors channel. You will hear all of these jams and more. It is quickly becoming one of my very favorite channels on that entire service,
Nice.
because it's all smooth, beautiful, wonderful jazz stylings like these. And the other piece was just being blown away that Samara is only 26 and yet has won this exact award 3 times in the last 4 years, which is ridiculous for anyone of any age, but just to have been so young and already be so established in the jazz space, to be one of the leaders, one of the, current leaders in that space, is just like, it's phenomenal and it's well deserved.
So looking at back-to-back wins,
mm-hmm.
and quickly coming up on Diane Reeves and her 5 already. Wow. Yeah.
Does not compute. Like, where is the limit for Samara Joy? Because I don't know that we've even scratched that surface yet. But yeah, great category, great spotlight to shine on the category and on Samara. Obviously the right pick. Jay, what about you with your first off topic? What do you think that was also the right pick?
My picks that I wanted to talk about, I think this is the first one I wanted to highlight because I feel like there's something that happens at the Grammys that makes no sense to me. And so my first topic that I'm going to throw out is for best song written for visual media, whether that's for video games, movies, whatever. Usually it's movies, movies or TV. But I'll throw out the nominees here real quick. So as Alive as You Need Me to Be from Tron, Never Too Late from Elton John's Never Too Late, and then 3 tracks from the Sinners soundtrack, which is I Lied to You, Pale Pale Moon, and the title track Sinners. And then there's the winner, which was Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. Now, I have no problem with Golden winning this award. It's a good song. It's a great soundtrack. But here's my problem with it. Did we need to have the rest of those nominees? Golden was nominated for one of the big 4 and like 4 other categories above that, including like pop duo performance. Was it even possible for any of these other tracks to have a shot?
No, it absolutely was not.
So do they just get to like say, oh, hey, I was nominated. It's an honor just to be nominated. Is it? Like you can't win.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other strategy too, is you're looking at that and just on the popularity of the song and everything else that it's been attached to, like they couldn't not give it something, but it wasn't going to win Song of the Year. I'm surprised it didn't win Pop Duo or Group Performance of the Year. Like these are the 2 things. So do we just get to a point again where the voters are like, well, I'm not going to give it this, but I got to give it something.
Yeah, it's that whole kind of pseudo collusion thing that we talked about.
Right, that's my thing, right? You have this category, and you nominated a song for one of the big 4. You nominated this track for Song of the Year, knowing full well that it was automatically going to win the other one. Mm-hmm. It has to, because none of these other 5 songs were nominated for one of the big 4, so they can't win.
Yeah. Yeah, it was reminiscent of a couple of years ago with when the Barbie movie came out and What Was I Made For? Like, we weren't even talking Grammys. We were like, this is a shoe-in for an Oscar. Like, the Grammys is a foregone conclusion. Why are we even doing this, y'all?
Right.
Speaking of, it's not a thing we cover, but if you want my honest opinion, one of 2 things will happen in March at the Oscars. Either Golden will, in fact, win because everyone loves the song and so on, or the Oscars do the Oscars thing and give Nick Cave the Oscar for Train Dreams. Those are one of the 2 things that are going to happen.
My money's on Oscar things. The Oscars are really good at just ruining fun.
I don't have a problem with Nick Cave, though. So
nor do I.
No, I don't have a problem with him winning. I'm not familiar with the track, nor am I with the movie. So,
nope, me either.
No, that wasn't at all a dig at Nick Cave. That was a dig at the Oscars for seeing oh, this is a fun animated movie. That's not good. We're not going to do that. Let's be realistic.
Animated movie? How many deaths? Count them. No, we didn't meet the threshold. It's fine.
Not enough. But yeah, obviously, I think that one is as that might be the one vote or the one category that's like the most expected. If there was
Yeah.
like a Vegas line on it, which I don't think there would have been for that category, but it would have been like minus 100 million.
That's the only downside to doing this after the shows is they didn't think to go capture all the lines and see what you could have actually gotten odds on, which is good. Don't get me wrong, because I spent too much of my bankroll last night on prop bets for the Super Bowl, and I would have probably lost more of it here, and probably will lose more of it in the Academy Awards. But regardless.
The only one that I saw like pre-Oscars was just Wildflower was plus 1,600 for best song. That's the only one that I clocked. The rest of them were all very close and could have gone a number of ways, but Wildflower was just a huge underdog to Golden, which was like I think minus 700 for that same category. So yeah, that was a bit of a shock to Vegas as well as it was to us. But I will go ahead and run through my other category, which is Best Global Music Performance. And this is also going to be one that is expected because Bad Bunny is in this category, which means Bad Bunny was going to win the category. And he absolutely did for Oh. And that part's fine. We talked about Bad Bunny enough, though. I'd like to at least put some shine on everyone else that was nominated because I feel like this is an area that often gets overlooked in the Grammys and in music in general, that there's so much music going on globally. And it's just a good reminder of all of the amazing stuff that is, maybe not as popular, maybe isn't going to hit like radio airwaves. For example, the fantastic Peruvian guitarist Ciro Hurtado with his second Grammy nomination. I believe his only one this year and then one, I want to say last year. And that was for Cantando en el Camino. Also, Angelique Kidjo, amazing Beninese vocalist with Jerusalema. Angelique with 16 Grammy noms and 5 wins to her own name. So certainly someone who is not at all unfamiliar with the Grammy stage. What about Yesi Rojas with Immigrante EK, which is a very, very fucking powerful song, a beautifully done, just gorgeous, heart-wrenching song. Cuban singer, rapper, violinist extraordinaire, first nomination for Rojas, and dare I say not the last, if that caliber of music is something to be continued. Out of all the tracks, that definitely is the one that I would recommend everyone listen to. Like, you don't have to understand the language to know exactly what's being said, exactly what's going on there. Great, amazing track. Longtime fusion band Shakti, combining jazz with Carnatic music, which is a type of Indian classical music commonly associated with South India. That nomination was for Shrini's Dream, which was a live track, which was also interesting that got a nomination for a live track, but also very cool that it did. As well as Anoushka Shankar featuring Alam Khan and Sarathi Korwar with the track Daybreak. Anoushka, the daughter of famous guitarist Ravi Shankar, which I'm sure many of you have heard of. Also pretty amazing in her own right with 14 Grammy nominations to her own name, on top of being the first musician of Indian origin to present at the Grammys and the first musician of Indian origin to perform at the Grammys in 2016 and 2023, respectively. So nothing to take away from Bad Bunny whatsoever, but he was in very, very exalted company in this category.
Right on.
If I had a pick for second, I'd have given it to Jerusalema. Just on the you said the powerful vocals on that. Although I'm with you, Rojas, man, that song was a kick to the chest. Truly. My question, and I think it's interesting to see with this category evolving, because it's legitimately only 2, 4, 5 years old, is how they came to figure out these nominees.
Yeah, that is fascinating to me too, like, because there have to be so many other ones. Like, this is such a small subset, right?
Right, like there's just a small subset. It came out of the former Best World Music Album Performance things, and then also has already spun off into a sister category, so to speak, with Best African Music Performance after just 2 years. So, like, where like it is very weird. I mean, Jacob Collier was nominated in this category 2 years ago or last year, excuse me, which I assume is for the features, but it's still, he's just like an English vocalist. So you're like, well, okay, well, all right, how does he work his way into it? What exactly are the parameters? And I'm very confused with some of this. Nahendra Modi was nominated 2 years ago.
Yeah, even in one of the nominees, Shakti, the jazz and Carnatic music fusion band, John McLaughlin, one of the members of that band, is also an Englishman. So yeah, there definitely is at least somewhat of a precedent. Like you said, I just don't know what the qualifications are, for English music versus other countries being represented.
Well, if you want, I could do this. I could self-do this for you too.
Oh, please. Yeah.
Which actually does kind of take me to many questions about my other category, because it also feels like the best alternative music album category is very similar in that it seems like it's a category where they go, I don't know where to put this, so it goes here. And I feel that works for a lot of the nominees here, and I can run through how we got there to where we got and why I kind of feel this way. Because we had Sable Fable from Bon Iver, Tyler the Creator, nominated again, not for Cornucopia, for Don't Tap the Glass, which we talked at length about a couple months ago when it came out. Wet Legacy with Moisturizer, and then Hayley Williams and Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party, which we talked at length about when that actually both times that dropped, when she dropped the group of singles, and then when they finally said, well, let's just make this an album, which leaves us to the winner, which also won with Alone on the best alternative music performance side. But The Cure also won the album version for Songs of a Lost World. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry. I don't remember. Did either of you guys talk about this back in November when this record came out?
No,
did not.
Okay. See, and it passed me by too. And I admit I don't have like deep knowledge of the Cure's discography. So like trying to catch up and read about it while I was listening to the album, like it's apparently like the spaciest that they've gotten in a very long while. This record is Robert Smith. He did the writing, he did the composing, he did the arranging. His vocals are really on point too, which was a positive. It's a dark record, and Smith really wanted to make it darker, but was convinced that no one would listen to it if he kept going down that way, so he kind of brought things up. It's a good record. My only issue is that I'm not convinced it's the best among the nominees, honestly.
Who would you have put in that? Oh, sorry, Jay.
No, you're fine. It's a valid question. Who would you have put in there?
I'm because of what we're talking about. I know I'm in the minority. I'd have given it Don't Tap on the Glass.
Okay, so here's where, and I don't have a problem with that either. If you're looking specifically at what's the best record out of these 5 listed, what's the best record out of these, that is an impossible decision to make because they are like on the spectrum is ridiculous. It makes no sense, right? So to pit Don't Tap the Glass against Hayley Williams and The Cure doesn't make any sense at all. The only other artist on that list that makes sense to pit The Cure against is Wet Leg, because alternative music doesn't mean anything anymore. It might have in 1993, but it doesn't. That word doesn't mean anything now. It's supposed to mean not mainstream, which, okay, what on that list could be classified as not mainstream? Literally none of it. They're all on major labels. None of them are. The Cure may have was the Cure self-released?
It may have been.
If that's the case, then it's the obvious winner to me, right? Because it's not. It whatever.
No, I mean, sort of. No,
like Critical High Horse.
No, I mean they put it out on Fiction, which is still UMG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still UMG.
But all of that lends exactly to my point: is how do you get here as a nominee? You know what I mean? Like, where is it? Again, this feels like a throwaway category based off. I mean, and it's not much different if you go to alternative music performance. You take out Tyler and you put in Turnstile, and that's alternative music performance nominees.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we've talked about this before too, just how classifications of music change, or what the meanings of those change throughout time, throughout the years and decades, and how, like you said, alternative music was a specific thing, had a specific purpose, and now it just is like a blanket term, like catch-all.
Yeah, it's.
I'm curious
to Billie Eilish.
Right.
I
am curious about one thing because I don't remember it coming up. Did it came out? Did any of y'all listen to Stable Fable?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's fine. It's a good record.
It's a Bon Iver record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I figured it might just be me when I say the only note I made for it was a little of this band goes a long way for me.
Yeah, that's when I felt like I was going to be in the minority, because it's like Bon Iver could put out the phone book and I'd be like, yeah, top 3 album of the year, clearly.
I also thought of the most pretentious way to put an album out in 2026 is to make it only vinyl for several months before finally releasing it everywhere else.
That doesn't make me mad. That's
I didn't say
fine.
maybe mad. I just thought it was on the pretentious side because
No, the most pretentious way to do it is to release it in a series of 7 inches.
Okay, that's fair.
Has anyone done that? I hate them, whoever it is.
Not for a long time, but artists have done that before. Yes.
Oh, that's despicable. Oh my God.
In the digital age, it's happened. I'm not going to go into that though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a different, maybe a vibes episode on physical mediums.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah. I mean, if we're looking at pure, like, enjoyable listening, it's got to either be Tyler the Creator or Hayley Williams.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
For that. And they're 2 very different records. So how do you choose?
Right.
The Cure record was fine. It was a good Cure record. If you are really into the Cure, you will like that record. I am not. And so I was okay with it. It was fine.
Let's just say I was okay with it. Like, the thing that I noticed most about it is that the record seemed like it was half introductions. That was half of the entire thing.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, cool. Like, eventually, are you going to do it, or are we just going to? Okay, cool. Thanks for getting there.
Well, there's one more place where we need to get, and that is, Jay, your second category.
Yeah, and actually, what we just talked about kind of ties into that a little bit, because I wanted to talk about Best Rock Performance, which I thought was an interesting pick, and I am here for it. It went to Youngblood alongside Nuno Bettencourt, Frankie Bello, Adam Wakeman, and 2 from Sleep Token. Honestly, I didn't even know 2 was there for that. So it's not a gimme pick for me. I found that out when I read the Grammy category. But it is a stellar performance. It's a tribute. I feel like it was done specifically for the purpose of getting a Grammy for rock performance. Like, it was dialed in for that thing, like that award. That's what it was there for. To answer Billie Eilish's question of what was I made for, this is what that was made for. They did this. Now, the other nominees in this category were also very good performances for the most part. I'll get into that in a second too. But Hayley Williams was nominated for Mirtazapine, The Emptiness Machine from Linkin Park, and You Should Not Be Doing That by Amyl and Sniffers are all very listenable and wonderful songs. And Never Enough by Turnstile is also, that's a great song.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with that. And this is where that song should be nominated, not in any of the other 147 categories where Turnstile was nominated.
That was a lot.
It was a lot. Which I would like to touch on that real quick before we call it a day. But changes, Youngblood's performance on that song, and in general recently, was one of the more engaging, emotion-filled, just raw performances in anything that was not a Billie Eilish song this year. It was such a good and welcome, refreshing performance that I was very happy that it won this award. I actually would have enjoyed seeing Youngblood being nominated for several others as well. But he definitely earned this one. Honestly, Nuno Betancourt. What'd you say earlier, Zach? You said Nuno Betancourt could play the phone book. No, that's not how that works.
I'd get it on vinyl. Like you said, it's so interesting when you have, and certainly not the only case of this, but like a song that maybe wasn't built specifically for this reason, but it was built for this reason. Like there's no other category for the song, and there's no other song for that category. It is the perfect marriage.
Yeah.
And like you said, that was running through this in these 5 tracks in a playlist. You actually just listen through and go, yep, this is it. There is no question. There is no doubt. This is what it should be. And anything else would be a Travis shamockery. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, they didn't go that route.
Right.
But can I talk about the Travis shamockery that Sleep Token didn't actually win anything?
Okay, well, so here's the thing. I am of the opinion that Sleep Token is niche enough. Like they've garnered a lot of popularity over the last 9 months or so, 10 months. But I am of the opinion that they are still not an acquired taste, but they're definitely something that makes you listen, and that's not always what people want. So I am not surprised that they didn't win anything. Would have loved for them to have won metal song.
Yeah,
even though
Emergence.
Right, for Emergence. Even though that song is not really a metal song, but neither is the song that won.
Yes.
For metal song. And that's where we're getting into the bit where we've been talking a lot tonight about like what's the criteria for getting nominated for a song. And Turnstile is it's the case, right? It's the case study where we can point to Turnstile and say, there's no criteria. You can be nominated for anything because Turnstile was nominated for Metal Performance and Rock Album, both of which they won. Metal Performance, Rock Album. They were also nominated for Best Alternative Performance and Best Rock Performance.
That's a lot of different things that are different.
It's similar and alternative, and like the alternative. What they were nominated for so many things that I don't know what criteria means anymore.
This isn't the first time they've been confusing as all hell when it comes to nominations either.
Right.
Because back in 2013, the same song was nominated for Best Metal Performance and Best Rock Song.
I don't remember what that was.
Blackout.
What was that? Okay.
Like, I guess it's none of this, at least for me, is like a knock on Turnstile as a band. Because I fuck with Turnstile, but it's more of a knock to like if there are going to be boxes and labels, then they should mean something.
Otherwise, just make the whole thing an alternative music category and call it a day.
Exactly.
Why have those various delineations? I'm with you. Like the Turnstile record was perfectly listenable. It's fine. It's not a metal album.
Right. Agreed.
So it shouldn't win for metal, but okay. Especially not when it's up against what it was up against for metal.
Yeah.
Which, what? Spirit Box, Sleep Token, Ghost, and Dream Theater.
Yeah, I agree that Emergence is not a metal song at all, but Soft Spine is, and a great metal song to boot.
Sure, but
is metal, and so is Night Terror is as metal as Dream Theater ever is, but
True.
They won't have a specific prog rock category, so here we go.
But at the same time, we know also that the Grammys have always had an interesting relationship with not knowing what metal actually is. So
yeah, the first one ever was Jethro Tull.
Right?
Yeah, with new categories being added year after year. In fact, there were 2 new categories added just this year in Best Traditional Country Album and Best Album Cover, which I wish I had seen that before literally this moment in time, because I absolutely would have talked about Best Album Cover.
Also, Chromacopia won that one, didn't it? Like
It did.
Yeah. And I ain't mad at that. That's fine. That's a great cover.
It's so good. It's just fucking iconic, dude. The album and the cover, for what it's worth.
Yeah, actually, kind of surprised that like album cover being a new thing. I feel like it kind of always should have been there.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guest recording package. Well,
Oh,
okay. That's what would that used to be rolled into. Okay.
Interesting. I think album cover makes more sense because it's not like, inserts. I mean, maybe that rolled into it, but I don't know.
I don't know. And it split up into photography and graphic. I need to get off of Wikipedia.
This is how rabbit holes start and end.
Yes.
Several hours later.
That's how we ended up here. So that was also what we kind of looked at with the Grammys. There's so much to that, and you don't ever hear about most of it. So we figured we'd give you a chance to hopefully hear some of it. And because it's an award show, there's always things to gripe about because they will always get something wrong.
Yeah, and in this case, I don't feel like they got a lot of the winners wrong, at least not with any of the big categories. Like,
no.
I'm angry about stuff that they nominated, but I'm not mad at any of the winners, really. It's fine.
And again, as we said, this is the Recording Academy essentially patting itself on the back. So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Do we have time? Do we need to go?
I think we have time.
Okay. Real quickly, did you want to know how you could you yourself, yes, you can vote for the Grammys?
Oh, let's have it.
Well, see, all you need to do is be a member in good standing of the Recording Academy. So how does one gain membership into the Recording Academy? Here we go. Ready to take notes?
Yeah, I got mine.
You're not going to need them. You need 2 strong recommendations from music industry peers. It does, in fact, say you need 2 strong recommendations to get in. So
that's it.
Oh, no, that was just the first one.
Oh
shit.
On top of that, you need to have proof of a primary proof of a primary career focus in music, which may include active marketing and promotion, award and honors, established online presence, including relevant touring dates, fan interactions, music videos, streaming stats, current releases, etc. Press coverages such as interviews, reviews, and highlights by relevant outlets, a professional support system, e.g. a manager, a booking agent, or a publicist, and or a verified list of industry collaborators.
So what you're saying is...
I'm not done.
Oh.
You also need 12 commercially distributed verifiable credits in a single creative profession with at least 5 of those credits earned within the last 5 years. And all of those tracks must be commercially available in the United States through recognized online music retailers / streaming services or physical retailer stores.
Okay, so right up until that point, all we had to do was wind up on Cool Zone Media, and we're in.
We're shooting,
correct.
Yeah.
We just need, but see, you're the only one with credits, so
yeah, but we're gonna update that soon.
That's true. Yeah. We are going to put out a country album here very soon.
Well, very soon being a loose term.
It's the music industry. Soon is always a loose term. Soon means either next week or next year.
Can you imagine what a coup that would be if the 3 of us assholes got Grammy votes?
No one wants that.
I don't know that we want it, but like it would be absolutely amazing.
Oh no, I do want it. I do want it just to prove the absurdity. Well, but here's the thing: of all of the actual voting institutions, this might have the least amount of absurdity behind it. So at the very least, whilst those requirements do sound like a bit much, it is sort of ensuring that you are keeping the voting for this, the most prestigious award in music, to performers, songwriters, producers, engineers, instrumentalists, creators. And keeping out, hopefully, managers and publicists and A&R weasels.
Yeah, I just want to have a hand in nominating.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go even farther. I think this record that we end up writing might even be worthy of being nominated at some point. I do. I honestly do. I think there's enough people who could, if we just get it in the right hands, enough people would listen to this and vote for us on a goof that we would just make it to that stage.
The social medias are a blessing sometimes.
Yeah, you know.
I'm looking at the best contemporary country album nominees from this year, and I think we could take every single one of them.
Having never produced a song at all.
Yes. We're a breath of fresh air.
We're fine. That's what YouTube is for. There's tutorials for everything, my dude.
Yeah.
wikihow.com/country music.
That's not a thing.
I need that to actually be
Honestly, this probably can get cut, but this would be the perfect place to transition into a read for Skillshare.
Holy shit.
And if you want to know how to produce your own contemporary country album,
that's how we know that we've made it.
That's right. That'd be the way to do it.
WikiHow Country Music. Learn everything you want about country music with the WikiHow Country Music category. Yes. Learn about topics such as 70 country song captions for love, life, and heartbreak.
I don't know if it's exactly where we needed to go, but I feel like it's a good place to start. Just like the best place for you to start if you want the latest music reviews, opinions, whatever it is that we do that's not monthly reviews and talking about the Billboard charts of days gone by, well, you should start at all active social media relevant outlets, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and look us up at Fairly KickAss. Don't forget faiiiiiiiiir.com. Eventually we will update that site, even though we keep saying we're going to do it.
Minor details.
We'll eventually might even do it. You can send all complaints to fairlykickass@gmail.com. Just make sure somewhere in the heading it just says regarding Ted.
Oh, yeah. Flood Ted's inbox with just the meanest, not the meanest things, but maybe like a few steps above the meanest things. Like, I hope your shoes are a half size too big. Things like that.
Hope you put your socks on backwards this morning.
That's the vibe that Ted needs. We don't want actual Ted hate mail. We just want Ted like minor dislike mail.
Yeah.
I hope there's a tiny hole in every one of your pockets.